director in RPS College of Pharmacy, which is a leading college of pharmacy in the Barabanki, UP, India. Today we are here for the webinar that is from here to where. Today we know that is the very pandemic condition of the COVID-19. Here the education segment is fully disrupted. The teachers are working from home and students are learning from the home. There is no clarity that where we are headed to return. Normally after COVID-19 situation, or are there are going to be side effects left behind from this disruption, which we will have to endure further. Many are trying to give what the future will be, but they are not guiding us here to do there and what we need to do get there and how we should prepare ourselves to be able to reach there. I presume that there are some of the thoughts along with his guidance that Dr. B. Suresh sir is going to share with us all. Most of our viewers owe to Dr. B. Suresh sir well, and if not, you will get to know him by the end of this talk. What a passionate teacher, proud pharmacist, and a great leader he is. But before this, I want to say that the name of Sir carries all the qualities that Sir is supportive in nature, unique uplifter, having radiant aura, with enthusiast personality, and smart looking with holy soul. Presently, he is Pro-Chancellor of JSS Academy of Higher Education, MYSURU, and well-known President of Pharmacy Council of India. Just a little housekeeping before we get started. If you have any query during presentation, please type them in the chat box. I will bring them up during the presentation, and we will also have time for the questions at the end. Hence, without much ado, I now invite to Dr. Suresh sir to tell us from here to where he is going to take us. Welcome, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Neeraj. And it's a pleasure to be once again online and talking to my colleagues and teachers across the country. And specifically this time, I believe even students are also joining in. And my focus is both towards the teachers and the students. I can give an example like a parenteral drug cannot be complete without the injection and the medicine together. So that's why the student and teacher are complementary to each other. So I will be speaking to both the students and teachers today. And I thought of this topic from here to where because repeatedly questions were coming from students, from teachers, the various challenges that are there in the present transition that in the education segment has taken place. So for that purpose, I had thought, like instead of simply talking of in general terms what to do and what not to do, I felt that it is important that we look at where we are today and where we will be and what we need to prepare for that. This is the basic objective of that. Today in the WhatsApp university, you get everything. Everybody advises you, this is how you have to do, this is how you have to do. And they tell this is how the world is going to come to an end, the world is going to transition. Yes, they are right in their own way. I am not denying that they are not there. But for us as teachers, for us as students, we need little more focused and specific guidance how to proceed. And that is what I am trying to attempt here today in this morning. I have quite a few slides. I will try to do justice by trying to be as clear as possible and try to do. And last time when I made the presentation on leadership, some of my colleagues said that I was very fast. Since there is no time limit, you can always speak. We would be more happy to listen. But while I am trying to listen, be slow in my expression and views. But at the same time, I will also keep conscious that I'm not boring you with my repetitive talks of the same topics and other things. Now, this is my third interaction which I'm having in this last 2 weeks. So I hope this does not become more repetitive and the same viewers are there. They will say that, oh, we heard it last time, so what's new about it? So I don't want to be in that mode where you become a sort of a redundant speaker where you don't have anything to offer. So I have tried to do as justice as possible to share my thoughts and give some clarity. And maybe it's not the best what I'm going to tell, but definitely it will help you to think and move forward, because ultimately I feel that every individual has to plan his own career, his own future, his own way of approaching life forward for them. So what we can do is only show directions, and that is what I am trying to do. I am sure that my voice and the visuals are clear. I'll be putting on my PowerPoint again. Once again, Neeraj can check and confirm once whether the visual is clear, so then I can start the lecture without feeling that that we have started something and I am not speaking the content which is there. So it should be visible to all of you. I'm just putting the screen share now. Please tell me you are able to see my screen now.
Yes, sir.
Is it clear?
Yes, sir, it is clear. Please see the full slide, sir. It is the side slide.
No, I'll put the full slide, but you are able to see the screen?
Yeah, sir.
Okay, I'm going now full slide so that I can proceed with the presentation.
Yes, sir, it is good.
So I would like to start off straight without much wasting of time. This about a couple of days, I saw this picture in the newspaper, one of the English newspapers, and it was very disturbing to me. Now, if this is our present situation, that is what I am trying to tell from here. It's not just about food. You can see a person trying to give certain food or fruits to the people who are perhaps in their lockdown or in migrant camps, wherever they are there, and try to give them. And but we find the behavior is almost like both for the giver and taker. I think we have lost something somewhere, and it's not just about food. I think it is the question of job. It's the same. It's the question of jobs. There are very few jobs and many takers required. Same thing is in education. There are very few good institutions, but there are many more aspiring students who want to learn and go and move forward. Same thing is in case of opportunities. If you look at opportunities, I'm not talking of jobs. Opportunities means to grow, develop, to become an entrepreneur. Like that, these opportunities also, there are only few available to you in this post-COVID situation. And there are many people who are aspiring that they should do it. And I think this comes with our lives too, that how we lead our life. We want to reach out to the world, but there are very few ways in which we can do. So this is our present situation, and that's why I try to bring this picture here, trying to tell this is our situation. There is very few, but there are many who want to have it. So how do we address that? So from here to where? So this is what I am trying to communicate here. When we say to where, this is only way by doing it is everyone becomes a change maker. So you should not wait for somebody else to bring the change for you. If you are a student and you have a challenge before you, you should see how you can address it. Don't wait for the teacher to come and tell you how to do it. Yes, teacher will guide you, but you have to do it. If it's a teacher, you do not know how to move forward, I think it's important for you to see how you can bring about a change yourself. Don't wait for the administration or the principal to come and tell you how you should do it. So this will happen where the same thing comes to jobs, whether it's come to food, to our lives. If everyone wants to be a change maker, and then I think what we are looking at is realizable. That's what I'm telling from here to where. The where which I put to is that everyone becomes a change maker, and that I hope by the end of my presentation you will understand why I meant that everyone should be a change maker. Now, if you look at education, there are so many things I can go into, but I would just talk about education and also about job opportunities linking to that, and what are the things that can help us to become the change maker. Like if you're talking of education, it should be time transcending. That means it should be good today, it should be good tomorrow, it should be good even 10 years afterwards. We should not be struggling at that 10 years later, oh, we did not prepare for this, how do we do it? So time transcending education is something which we have to do. That means continuously we have to keep changing, adapting, and move forward. And as far as the students and teachers are concerned, we should have not skills, but we have to have supersonic skills. You know, when we mean supersonic, that means you should have to move even faster than the sound. So that should be the speed of acquiring the skills. It's just not going to be acquiring some skills, but you have to acquire supersonic skills. Then we'll talk about how do we acquire those skills also a little bit. We'll talk a little later, but that is very important. You have to have supersonic skills in these days. You have to have your imagination, not imagination alone. You have to reignite your imagination. Don't look the imagination in the in the traditional way. You look how you can do it differently, how you can work out something, how you can make a presence felt. I think that is where it is required. And if you have your imagination reignited, innovation is automatically to follow. You have heard about collaboration, but now I am talking about hyper collaboration. Hyper collaboration is the way forward. Today you can see for developing a vaccine across the world, the governments are working together, countries are working together, big universities and research organizations are working together. So they know that if you want to have a quick way forward, there should be a high level of collaboration that is required. And this collaboration should be with the level of people who are on the same plane. So you cannot have the hyper collaboration happening if you are all not prepared. Let us say there is a tablet manufacturer and there is a vaccine manufacturer. If they have to collaborate at this stage, it may be redundant because their own requirements, technologies, and moving away. If let us say there is a vaccine manufacturer and there is a biological research organization and they collaborate, that there is a meaning to what we are talking about. And the last one is what is going to happen is disintermediation is going to take place. That means no more immediate intermediate people or intermediate organizations, no more intermediate ways of communication is going to be there. It is going to be direct to the customer. D2C is going to be the future. The teacher will be talking to the student, or the administration will be talking to the student. Like there is going to be a direct contact is what is going to be there in the future. So same thing happens in the manufacture side also, and in all other areas. So disintermediation is one of the things that is going to come in the future. So with this background, let us see what I would like to say here is that very well our father of our nation, Mahatma Gandhi has said, the world has enough for everyone's need, but not enough for everyone's greed. I think this is a very, very valuable message to all of us. So we all are thronging that, there are limited jobs. How do we reach that? There are limited jobs, but there are jobs for everyone. But those jobs should be in such a manner that it is not so greedy to the extent that, I need something which you are not skilled for, but aspire for that and compete for the same place. And by hook or crook, you get in there and then disturb the whole system which is there. So this is the very important message which I would like to say. The world has enough for everyone, but there is not enough for everyone's greed. I think this is some message which I would like to share. And with this message, let me move forward and talk to you from here to where we are going to move forward. And this again symbolic from here to where. We all know that Our education started in Gurukulas. As per our scriptures, there will be a teacher and students go there and sit with him and live with him, eat with him, learn with him, and then they go back fully knowledge and equipped when they go back to their homes. These Gurukulas were where the education, the foundation started. Now today's Gurukulas, we all know that it is happening not in the form of going there, but today teacher goes to every home. Student doesn't come to the teacher, teacher goes to every home. You can see there will be in future what we call as a, not a lecture theater, you will have a lecture dome where every student would be at his home or his place or in workplace, wherever he is there, and the teacher would be reaching out to all of them and try to talk to them, understand their needs, respond to their needs, just like what we are doing today. Today we are doing it one-on-one because that's the technology we are using today. And the technology is available where the teacher can communicate to all his 100 students as he would communicate in the classroom and still be able to deliver the same type of lecture. So the world is moving from here to where is what you have to understand, and which part of the stage you are, we have to transition and move forward is the thing. Now, I would like to make some acknowledgements here. I would like to acknowledge here the gracious blessings which I have from our Chancellor, His Holiness Jagadguru Sri Shivratri Deshikendra Mahaswamiji. He is my inspiration and guidance for all my activities. Today, if I am in this particular position, it is because of the encouragement and support and guidance given by him. So I would like to acknowledge that. And I would like to thank my team at JSS who have been supportive in all my activities at my university. And today we are progressing from step to step. Similarly, I would like to thank the Pharmacy Council of India because it's there, whatever ideas that come, we try to translate and try to bring it as a thing which can spread across the country, and the team is highly supportive of it. I would like to thank my family and friends because their patience and indulgence is great, because so I am so occupied with work. So I give very little time to my family and friends, but they still like me and love me and are affectionate to me, and I thank them for that. And I can say that I have got no conflict of interest to declare here. However, I have a disclaimer that whatever opinions I am expressing here today are my personal. It is not of my organization, whether it is the Pharmacy Council or the JSS Academy where I am working. It is not of that of the organizations. The words and content which I am expressing here, if it hurts someone's sentiments, I would like to apologize in the beginning itself, because it is not my intention to hurt anyone. And it is only, it may be inadvertently, if at all it happens. My feeling is that I would like to always inspire and motivate my friends and colleagues as well as the students. While sometimes motivating, we try to use certain harsh techniques to make sure that the impact happens. So please do not feel offended if you feel what I said was a little too strong to you individually or personally. And some of the pictures I have been used are taken from the open source from internet. So I would like to acknowledge all those contributors and thank them, for me being able to use this. I would like to tell with a statement here that this is a particular statement which I saw and it was very interesting to me. So I thought I should repeat to you. Of course, I modified it to our present context. The statement which I read was that money well managed provide security. Yes, you have proper money in the bank, fixed deposits are there, insurance is there, investments are there, you feel secure. Okay, there will be no disturbance in my life. Similarly, security well managed provides independence. Because you are secure, you feel that you can do now a little bit of things the way you would like to do. So that is the independence you are looking at. Suppose you want to take a risk, because you are secure at a particular place, then you try to innovate and try to bring certain new things. Now, independence well managed always provides the freedom. So when you manage your independence that we have given to you to carry out, the security has given to you, and this the money that has given to you, the independence, I think it will give you the freedom. And if you have the freedom, perhaps it will provide you the happiness, well managed. If you use your freedom for the wrong things, then perhaps more than happiness, it is going to bring unhappiness to you. So freedom well managed provides happiness. The last point is what I added, that education well managed realizes all your dreams. I would like to underline the word well managed, because everybody wants education, everybody wants a degree, and there is a difference between these two. You can get a degree but not have any education or knowledge with that. But if you think that is sufficient, then you are not going to see the change which you want to happen in your life. So education well managed means that how you are acquiring the education, from where you are acquiring that education, how it is impacting your life, and if you are able to take this education in the right platform, right perspective, and move forward, whatever your dreams may be there is possible to realize. So this is the message I would like to say. This picture I had taken in Grand Canyon when I was in USA, and I thought let me share it with you that I always talk about sunsets, and here also it was a sunset in Grand Canyon, and I always keep telling sunsets to rise again. So if you feel because of COVID-19 your sun has set, because there are so many disruptions, please don't worry about it. Sun will rise again, and when the sun rises again, you are going to get the best of your life which is required. Now, if you look at the damage or challenge that has come before the education segment, it has affected two major stakeholders. One is the students and another is the educators. Now, when you talk of students, what happened to them? How did they suffer? First one was their studies were disrupted. Suddenly they were in the classroom and they were told go home. And if they could not go home, they were locked into their hostels where they cannot move out. Their freedom was gone. Their food habits were changed. All these things happened because of this disrupted studies. Then second, there is a delayed graduation. That is, you are not knowing when you will graduate, how it is going to impact your education. The examinations are postponed. The admissions will be postponed. All these are questions of replanning and rescheduling your life. There are shrinking jobs. You are hearing every day there are jobs are being not lost and all that. The opportunities are vanishing. There is an education conundrum. Conundrum means confusion. There is a confusion in the whole system for you in what to do, how to move forward. We'll talk more about it in our talk. The international education which we are all dreaming, or perhaps few of you are dreaming, has become elusive. You do not know what to do and how to proceed further. And there will be possibly increasing cost to the education. So this will be the challenge for the students. Now coming to the educators, by the meaning educator, I mean the teachers, the managements, and the principals or the administrator associated. It all applies to all of you, but ultimately you are an educator. You may be doing different role there, and that role is what I am going to talk. Here, you had a challenge of transitioning from digital teaching and evaluation. From regular to digital teaching and evaluation. Now you have the challenge of incomplete internships. How do we manage the internship that is required? You have a compensation conflict. I keep getting few messages from distressed teachers that we have not got our salaries for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months. These are distressful situations, and these conflicts exist between the teachers and the organization. So we'll discuss more about it. There are decreased and delayed revenues in the institutions. We'll talk again when we go to the thing. And there is a poor technology support and training, and regulatory ambiguity. What and how we should proceed is some of the challenges which are there, and there is an unpredictable path ahead. So these are some of the challenges which I have listed from the student angle and the educator's angle, and I will try and see how to do justice by talking to you on these issues and try to give you guidance. So please, this is not going to be a very light-hearted talk, which I usually do. Neither it is going to be an inspirational talk. It will be a more a pragmatic talk, trying to give pointers to you how to proceed with that. So please bear with me if you do not find my talk very light-hearted or jovial, which I tend to be as far as possible. But today I thought it is too serious an issue. So jokes or lightheartedness may not help us to focus. So I'll be focusing a little more seriously. Now I will take the students first, because I have a great passion for students, and I want to see that the students should be well settled in life. This is somehow has become a passion for me, and I continue to focus on students' interests. So I would like to say, how do you address this disrupted studies? I think this is a message I would like to give to all the students. You have to look at autonomous education. Now you have to stop waiting that let me go to the classroom and listen what the lecture teacher is going to teach and then prepare my notes and prepare for the examination. Those days have changed. So now you have to do is you have to create your own pace of learning. The teaching in the classroom will happen, teaching on the online will happen, but what is required is you have to now self-directed, self-driven learning has to start at your own end, and that is the way forward for you to move forward. If you feel that okay, I'm going to go back to the classes, then the teacher takes the class. There was a problem in digital teaching. How do I manage this? It was internet connectivity was not there in my village. I was there, so I did not learn to the classes. These are all issues, yes. But you have your own resources. You know your own syllabus. You know what is required for your studies. So start preparing with whatever resources you are having is the message which I would like to tell. Now you have to next stage is that, okay, if not today, tomorrow, if not tomorrow, after 1 month, definitely by the next academic year, the classes are going to begin. So if the classes are going to begin, how are you going to restart it? Now you have got used to learning from home for 3 months or 4 months or 5 months. Now, how prepared you will be to go back to the classroom? So how is your mindset? Even as a teacher, I had difficulty from working from home to go to the office and start working there. I had issues in settling down and trying to do it. I'm sure there are going to be challenges for you for when you want to go back. And one of the major things, particularly the final year students are going to face is, as soon as you land in your classes, you are going to face examinations. So usually it would have been the other way around. That is, after the classes are over and everything is over, you have a break and then your examination starts with the time available for you to study. Here, you had a disruption of your studies. And number two, the online classes are going on. And as soon as you go back, you are going to have examinations with you because that is how you can graduate and move forward. So you have to prepare how you are going to take up the examinations as they may announce. Most probably, most of the universities and colleges across the country, as soon as the lockdown for the institutions gets opened up, first thing they are going to do is conduct the examinations for the final year students. So you are going to be in the forefront. So you be prepared. Think next week is your examination and how you would schedule your timetable, start preparing for that. For the graduating students, I would like to tell you, focus on your studies. The issue is not when, it is question of whether. That means if you are not going to be prepared and you're not going to focus on your studies, it's not that when I am going to graduate. So the question will come to you whether you are going to graduate or not, because how prepared you are, it is going to lead to your results. You cannot cry at that time and tell, no, it is because of COVID I did not pass this examination, or because of COVID my whole life has changed. So this was an issue. So I think you have to keep that in mind. Then how is it going to impact your career ambition? See, you might have been wanting to be, because there are pharmacy students, you might have been thinking that, okay, I would like to be in the manufacturing area or industrial production. Now, how the jobs are going to change in the industry? Is still that your ambition? Is that still the way you would like to still go there? Suppose if there are no jobs in that area, how are you going to adapt to that? Your career ambitions, you will have to relook yourself. Collaborative learning is one way I think you have to learn. That is, 4 of you, 5 of you should get together. Like you get online with the teachers for discussion, I think you have to get online among with your friends and see how you can collaborate. It's like what you used to do group study in the classroom. You have to do group study in the at your homes and try to see how you can do it. Then prepare for a digital evaluation if it becomes inevitable. Now, couple of universities have asked me a question that will BCI agree if there is an online evaluation conducted for that. So this is a big question we have to find answer to. So when we are talking of an online education or online evaluation, these are two different ball games. Education is a process of delivery. Evaluation is a process of outcome. And when we are looking at process of outcome, and if we have to do a different way of assessment of outcome, I think the person who is being evaluated should be prepared for that. So you have to keep taking your tests online, Maybe it may not be related to your subject. Just go on to the computer, see whatever online exams are there, try to attend so that you become familiar with the technology and the speed and the time required for the online examinations if they become inevitable. Now there are shrinking jobs. This I just got news from one of the magazines, Outlook. It says 100 million and more Indian jobs are at risk after COVID-19 lockdown. Is your job safe? It's the question which is there everywhere. So some of you may be working, some of you might have got the appointment order, some of you may be getting ready to go there. Is your job safe? Now, yes, it will be safe provided you are going to have certain skills. And the message which I have to tell to my students is that you should plan for multiple skills. Please do not think, oh, I am going to be a regulatory science person, so I'll focus on regulatory and go there. Maybe the job in regulatory may not be there in the numbers which you may talk, because no new drug development may take place when the company is not able to invest money for operationalizing it. And definitely it is not going to invest in research for a new product for that. So that may not be the job which you are looking for. So if regulatory is not there, what other thing you can do? Whether you can get into QA, whether you can get into manufacturing. So this is something which you will have to think and develop, not one skill, but multiple skills, I will try to say, and try to see at least you plan for 2 careers so that you are not affected for want of a career which you wanted to pursue. Then you try to check what is the future market which is there. I will try to talk about some of the markets later on. But what is the future market which is going to exist in the pharma sector, in the health sector? How do I do it? Let us say you have done your B Farm or you are doing your B Farm and you want to proceed further. But you find that there may not be a job in the manufacturing side which you want to do. And if you do an MBA, you still go to an industry, you may not have the type of job which you want at the higher level, because unless you have not passed from a reputed institution, you will not get a job even as an executive in such companies. So can you do an MBA which is different? Maybe MBA in health administration. Maybe then with your knowledge of medicine, with your knowledge of pharma, whether you can go for an MBA in hospital administration and get into the health sector, which was originally the passion, and try to get into managing pharmacies in the hospital or even managing the whole hospital over a period of time with the experience you can do. So these are some of the things you will have to acquire knowledge, skills, and attributes relating to that field which you want to move forward. Now, there are 2 segments that are going to continue to grow, whatever it is. And along with the pharma knowledge, if you acquire these 2 skill sets extra, you will definitely get a job which you are. One is the healthcare segment. When I tell healthcare segment, don't look only at the manufacturing side. Don't look only that you can get into manufacturing with there. You look at other options in the health sector. As I said, MBA in hospital administration. And another health area is public health. Today, there is a shortage of public health experts across the world. So whether Master of Public Health is a good option for you to pursue and get into an area of health with pharma background again and try to pursue your dream. This just I'm telling you an example. I can tell you 100 such examples which you can look at a path and do it. Maybe after B Farm, you can do your law and become a patent attorney which you want to do. So these type of things you have to keep imagining and be innovative, reignite your imagination and move forward is what I would like to do, suggest here. And another segment is technology segment, IT. So now, as you know, many of our pharmacy graduates are already working with IT companies in the pharmacovigilance or data writing and all that. This is going to become more and more developed and focused. Technology may also get what education is to partner with them. Lot of education will be delivered on technology in future. So if that is the case, even the teachers will have jobs there. Even graduates will have to develop the content for teaching on the segment. So technology is definitely going to be there. Then lastly, I would like to tell you is develop entrepreneurial qualities. Today, people think entrepreneurial quality means, oh, you need a big investment and you need a big factory to facilitate develop. All you need is an idea which you want to do. I can proudly say we showcased a couple of technologies yesterday, which I have put on the Facebook. You can go to our university Facebook and see those technologies. There is a short video of 3 minutes. See, these were 2 doctors who tried to develop it. They are working already, but it was their passion to develop. One was the development of a mobile ICU unit. and it was done by a pediatric professor who had no need to do this, but his passion driven him, and now from a physician, perhaps he is entering to become a entrepreneur in the process. Same way, another is a dentist. He is again a pediatric dentist, so he has started trying to develop technologies that may support safe patient dental care. So see, it is now there is no limitation for a person to become an entrepreneur, is what I am trying to tell. So you keep your imagination firing, and I think you are able to achieve that, and you can definitely not worry about shrinking jobs if you are looking at it. Now you look at the other challenge before the student is delayed graduation. Say normally the exam should have been over by now, or must be going on now in April and May, and by June you should be able to graduate. And July, August, either you should have got a job in your hand, or you should must be pursuing your goals towards achieving the higher education, doing a master's program. And those who are having masters would have been aiming at becoming a research scholar, or going for a job or for an overseas assignment. All these things have become changed now. Now the exams are delayed, so postponed, and the graduation from colleges also will be delayed. So what is going to happen now? You may be able to acquire your degrees. If the university is very efficient, they may give you a degree by August or September. If the university is not very efficient and they have got large number of institutions, they can do only in a phased manner, and it may get even prolonged up to December for you to graduate. Now, what are you going to do till then? Are you going to sleep in the house? Are you going to sit in the house and waste your time? Try to see that this academic progression is not affecting of yours. So check with your prospective employer whether it is okay to join prior to graduation as a trainee. See, many people will say, oh, I don't have a degree. How do I know whether the job is good or not? I would like to emphasize to students that, the industry definitely looks at your qualification, but more than that, they look at your commitment and passion and your skills which you have acquired. So they know that if you are a committed student and you have the skills, they'll say, okay, you come and join us as a trainee, let us see. And when you get the job, I'll give you the full pay and a job. So by that time, they are observing you to do it. So nothing wrong in asking. So I want you to do is that ask. Unless you don't ask, you are not going to achieve the goal which you are looking at in your life. Just check with the prospective employer. Now, check with the institution where you had planned your higher studies. You might have tried to study your M.Pharm, or you might have wanted to do your MBA, or you may wanted to go abroad to get your education. So you do one thing, that you tell them my graduation will take some more time. Is it possible that I can enroll into the classroom and keep learning? And as soon as I graduate, my degree can be awarded. In some cases, even the UGC has given relaxation that a person may be admitted to a program, and he can continue to attend the classes provided he gets his degree before September 31st. So this is a possibility even with the UGC has told. So you try to reach out to the institution. Yes, I am ready to pay the fees. Yes, I am ready to sit in the class and go on. I will not force anything on you, but I would like to start learning and continuing my education instead of sitting at home. And whenever my examination happens, I will bring my degree and submit it to you. So either you allow me to get into this academic year itself, or maybe I will keep learning and join the next academic year, but give me an opportunity to proceed further. I think this is something you will have to try as students. Now you look at the opportunities, which I said as the way vanishing opportunities. So that's why I put a very deep well here. So the water has right now gone to the bottom, but definitely it is going to rain opportunities and the water will rise. But till then, you have to have the capability to go down the ladder and try to see that how you can reach to the water here. The day the water starts filling up, you will also rise and you will be able to come up. But if you are afraid to go down here and wait, the water may not come up. And if you keep waiting to let the water rise above, then I will get some water. By that time, you would have lost the life which you wanted. And similarly, there will be more people here and you will not get placed to get into the situation. So it is very important for you to understand where you want to be. There is a change in the profile of the job market. What I am trying to tell is even industry is telling to people, particularly this is true in the IT segment, same may be becoming the education segment, they are telling, why do people need to come to office for doing the work? If they can work from home, that is fine as long as the product is delivered and security is maintained. So some of the companies are reinventing to work 25-75. That means 75% of the people will be working from home and 25% will be in the office. So this is the type of profile which is going to change the job. So you have to look at adapting, changing, and moving forward what to do. There will be decreased scholarships and financial assistance. This is the challenge. So now if you are dependent on a scholarship or a financial assistance for your education, you have to find what other opportunities are there for you to self-sustain and move forward. Preferred opportunity will no longer exist. So don't wait for that. That, oh, I wanted to join this particular institute. So because that institute would not be able to offer you what you want now. So if you keep waiting, you are losing an opportunity. So you choose what is the next best and move forward in your career. Then there will be compromised compensation situation. Like earlier, a company might have been offering you a very big pay package or a package which you would love to have. But now you are suddenly realizing that the compensation which you want is not there. So what should you do? Should you give up your job and say, no, I will wait till my best job comes? You can wait, but then the job may not come to you. Then you will start crying, oh, there are no jobs in the market. Why did I study? The education is useless. So this is a simple way of blaming our own lack of decision making or inefficiency by telling education is no good, there are no opportunities, there are no this thing. These are all the way we try to justify or give lame excuses. Innovation investments may be lower. So if you are looking at a R&D career, now you have to look at what area of R&D you want to get into an industry. And I will talk a little bit more that why the R&D is changing a little bit later. But I would like to add that research remains as a luxury. So if you are looking at R&D already in Indian setting, the investment from a pharmaceutical company into R&D was always less than 1% or 2%. In educational institutions, it was even less than 0.5%, barring a few institutions. Always the institutions were told, teachers were told, go and get the funding from the funding organization, then do your research. We will not invest in research. And same is true now in industry. They are going to tell, well, you find money for research, you can do it, but the company would not be able to give money for research. So how are you going to create, if research is your passion, how are you going to move forward? So for that, you have to develop skills where you can write grants, do research grant and attract research grants, think about the innovative ideas which you want to move forward. And this is something you'll have to keep working on. Because of that, you want to achieve the goals. Now, if you look at increasing costs in the education, this is a big challenge. And education is becoming expensive, and it is also going to add technological cost before. Earlier, it was only the teacher cost. Now, because you have to use technologies to develop, the learning management systems will come in, the video technology has to be there, digital content development will be there, the appointment of IT staff in institutions become mandatory. So with all these things, the cost of education is bound to increase. Definitely, it is not going to come down unless the numbers are going to increase. There will be decreased paying capacity due to job losses. So this will be going to be another challenge before that. Then financial agencies enter into a freeze mode. Like everybody tells you, oh, don't worry, the banks are there to give you a loan for your education. But only when you go to a bank and try to get a loan for your education, the amount of details which they ask you right from your birth certificate to death certificate in advance, you will never be able to get the loan which you want to get. And ultimately, you get frustrated and try to manage something and move on with your life. There are what we call as the flailing fellowships. There are a lot of fellowships people talk about. They put on the advertisements very well. Oh, we are going to give so many crores of fellowships, and we are going to give totally 20 crores, 50 crores of fellowships to the people, to the students who are joining. But ultimately, when you go to the classroom or when you go to the university, you will find that there are no free lunches. What would be there is that, okay, if you perform this well, we'll give you this fellowship. If you got 90% mark, you will get eligible for fellowship. If you are able to sustain your 90% mark, then you will get the fellowship. So this is how the world of these fellowships is going to be for you. So don't get carried away by that, but make proper plans that how you are going to meet the increased cost of education. Then there is going to be decreased mobility. The decreased mobility, I mean that The students will not be able to go to the preferred city or other city. Let us say, if you are now in a small town, maybe you want to go to Mumbai for your education, that may not be a possibility now. So you will have to look at what is the next best available to you in your own region. So for students and institutions, I think it's important to understand how do we take care of our local needs now. How can we cater to the local students here? Stop looking at outside the country, because those students are going to be decreased in the coming years. So this will be a very important thing. And value for money and resource crunch is going to be our issue. So I think these are all the issues which as students will have to look at the increasing costs. And last one is what I call as the education conundrum. Because of all this, you have an apprehension of choosing the right program. Am I doing the right thing? Have I done the right thing in choosing pharmacy? Is it the right thing which I have taking to my admission to regulatory affairs? Is it the right thing which I did to look at QA as a career? Is it the right thing I have done? Did I join the right institution? Here there are no placements in this institution, so how my career is going to be? The right placement offer, like you wanted to join GSK, but you are not getting a job there. Now you have to join some other company. So what do I do? And what would be the right academic path if I want to do my research or further studies? Should I go for higher study or should I go for a path? So this is the education conundrum which you all are in now. So I will tell you the answer for this. No program is a right program. No institution is a right institution. No, nothing is a right career. Nothing is a right placement officer, and nothing is a right academic path. It is what you want to do, you have to put there. The program, the institution, the right career which you are choosing is something which you will have to evolve and move forward with that. You have to be like a flowing river. You cannot be just a stagnant pool and say, I have got everything there and now I should get the best. You will not get the best, you will get only mosquitoes. You know that very well. In a stagnant water, you breed only mosquitoes. But whereas a flowing water, you can see all the wild, what you call as water life thriving and growing and doing well. So I think this is something which is there. Nothing there is there. Oh, this is the right path is not the way I would look at it. Everything is the right path. Perhaps you are looking at the right direction. That is very important for you to move forward. So lastly, I would like to say for the international students that, you might have all planned that, oh, I am going to go to US, I'm going to Australia, I would like to go to Europe, to UK to get my admission and move forward. Now all this is going to change, but there are solutions. The solution is immediately write to the university where you have got the admission, that you are not going to be able to join the spring session, and maybe that they'll permit you to join the fall session. So you write to them and get admitted to the fall semester and continue studies online. Otherwise, the university may offer you that you study online at home for this semester, come next year to the campus abroad. Then there is going to be a challenge of visa and international travel in the coming years. And so you have to think of these options when you're looking at an international education. Now, seek universities that have flexible approach to their international students, because one of the things is, particularly if they are very rigid with the conditions of their university, they say no, that you have to follow our norms, which is there. Then it may be very difficult in the situation. Let us say you are not able to get a visa to go there. Can you continue to pursue that same education here in India and be able to move forward? This is something you have to understand and try to develop further. Now, I would like to tell you, my dear students, friends, that there is no equality and equity in this world. So when you go out, everybody talks about equality, everybody talks about equity and how opportunities are there, you should do this. But let me tell you, outside in the industry, outside in the world, there is no such thing as a level playing field. Don't look for a level playing field. Only thing you have to look is how do we try to go uphill? How do we try to reach the uphill position? And that uphill position is only possible by the best education which you get from when you are doing there. So education is the only thing which is going to take you uphill and try to realize your goal. Don't try to look at, oh, there is no equality here, there is no equity here, how it is going to be. Don't look at that type of opportunities, what I would like to tell you. Now, lastly, I would like to tell you, good education prepares you to be a good survivor. So, if you are having not a good education, I'm underlining the word good education. When I am talking of good education, I don't mean again a particular institution provides a good education. Education is good. It is the question is how the teacher and the taught are interacting and trying to learn what they are expected to learn and move forward. So good education prepares you to be a good survivor. Now you can see here how deep the river is. It will depend only when you start to cross it. Very few students, I mean, quite a few students write to me, sir, I have done Farm D. There are no careers jobs there. There is no ready-made job available to me and go and start working as a clinical pharmacist. A lot of students write to me even message, why pharmacists are getting paid less? Why pharmacists are getting like this? This is a continuous questions I keep asking because they do not want to cross the river. They are all outside and waiting that the water, somebody should say that the water is safe for crossing and then they will try to cross. So till that time, many people would have flown forward and reached the other side. Still, you will not have the job when you want to keep waiting. So it is the education is something is like, it is like crossing the river. Unless you don't get into it, you do not know how deep it is. And if you are a good swimmer, even if you are, if the water is very deep, you will be able to reach the other side. You will not get drowned. To survive from not getting drowned, you have to be a good, damn good swimmer. So that way, to survive, you have to have a damn good education, damn good knowledge. Sorry, I'm using a little strong language, but I want to make emphasis here that you have to be very good to go out and learn. Now I will come to my dear teachers. I will go a little faster here because students, I thought I should spend a little more time. But the teachers, you all are already educated, so I am not going to teach you something new. So I will be running through a little bit more faster for you to my colleagues. So one thing I would like to tell you is the teachers who are not future ready, you will be simply left behind. So the choice is yours. You want to be a teacher and teaching is your passion, you have to get ready for the future. This is what I would like to tell. The past is only for remembering. Like, okay, we had chalkboard test, we brought a model to the classroom and talked to the students. The present is what you are seeing now. Optimize it. See how you can do it. Yesterday we had a webinar a few days here. In my own office, I could see people using 5 different gadgets to listen and see to their webinar. One was somebody was using a handheld mobile, somebody was watching a TV screen, somebody was watching his laptop, somebody else was using his iPad. So people are all using different devices and technologies to move forward. So optimize and deliver what you would like to do it. For those who are of the future, prepare because it is going to be entirely different. The whole scenario of your education and providing education is going to change. I'm not going to tell that, oh, technology is going to come and only that technology is going to help you survive. No, technology will come. Technology alone will not help you survive, but technology definitely is going to play a very influencing role in your life. So it is very important that you have to prepare for the future, and I'm going to tell how we are going to do that also. Now, for the educators, I will start off with the points that transitioning from digital to from physical to digital teaching and evaluation. First is immediately you have to do capacity building. How do we equip our teachers? Because teaching in classroom was different and teaching in online is different. So there is a need for that. In fact, I have been talking to my Pharmacy Council of India colleagues. Can we put an online program for all our teachers to get them trained on how to go about for the online teaching? So you will be hearing more from us about that. Second is you have to choose the right digital platform. See, for example, all of you have been innovative. You have been using Google Meet. You have been using Zoom Meet. You have been using different platforms. Nothing wrong. We had taken off very well. In spite of limited training, we all got off well. The teachers were the one who quickly adapted and moved forward. But now coming forward, you have to choose the right platform, which is not going to be expensive, but at the same time, which is going to be able to deliver the right type of education to the students. Now, online education is an enigma. People think just by going on a Zoom platform or a webinar platform and just talking to them, and putting the slides and tell that I have completed online education. No, that is not online education. The online education becomes complete only when you start before the class, you have communicated to the students what they are going to learn. And the student, you then understand in the class what the students have prepared on their own. And then you assess the students at the end of your lecture in the class itself, did they understand? How did the outcome, which of that? So that is what we talk as an online education. Don't think just because you went on a Zoom and I get reports, sir, we have done 25 Zoom classes. We have done 100 these things. We are trying to develop this. But the question is how much was learned. That measurement is required to be understood. Next is the academic integrity in this. See, just for the sake of giving to university, you keep giving, say, I got 95% attendance, I got 98% attendance in my class, students are well accepted, will all become visible when the results come out for these students and when they start coming to the physical classes. Then they are going to tell all the stories which is going to come out. Oh, this was not problem, that this was there, this issue was there, that issue was there. So all these things are going to come out. So academic integrity is something which I would like our teachers to remember, that our roles have, our method of teaching might have changed, but our roles remain same of providing the right education to the students. Now you have to also learn, which I have been telling in different meetings, that from the platform of teaching and learning, you have to go to the platform of mentoring and advising. No point taking a PowerPoint in the classroom and lecturing students for 1 hour anymore. They should be available to the students before you go and mentor them. Have they understood that? Advise them, guide them, how they are going to do. I think this is something which you are going to do. And collaborative teaching is going to be the platform. Now it may not be one of the experiments we are trying to do is in our university is that 2 teachers from 2 different locations are giving lecture to the same students and interacting on the platform. Is it possible? Yes, it is possible. So this is called as collaborative teaching. So maybe a professor of medicine may be in the hospital, maybe a PharmD teacher is in the college. Both of them collaborate and teach the PharmD student about cardiology care or diabetes care and other things. So I think this is what is going to happen in future, and you are going to see that. So you have to look at these technologies coming in the mind for you. Now, another issue before you is the incomplete internships. Now, quite a few again is that the students have gone on internship and they are not completed. How do we go about it? Pharmacy Council has given you guidance that you can use online methods of training students or give them assignments, give them problem-based issues so that they can understand. Let us not just extend the career of the student for another 3 months or 6 months because he could not go for an internship. Internships are important, but these internships or immersions, I would call it, are okay. Even after graduation, he can go and get his immersion. We have made it as a prerequisite for their graduation because we felt that practical knowledge will be helping them. But that should not become a detriment for them to graduate and go out and lose opportunities. So for that, you have to innovate and try to see whether you can give the same immersion to the students. Let us say a person was supposed to expect to work in the QA department of the industry. He is not able to go to the QA department, but I am sure a QA scientist from that company would be happy to talk to students and tell them what he does in QA. He can always find a half an hour or 1 hour time from his home, trying to reach out to the students and talk to them what he would have learned in the industry. Today, virtual internships and post-graduation immersion, post-graduating immersive learning possibilities are there. That means after you have graduated, we can still go for an immersion and try to understand what it is. And for those who you want to give certain training, you can give on campus itself. I am sure you are having several research projects going on. Instead of sending out students to do work somewhere else, you give them a job or a fellowship in your own research project and immerse him to learn the technique, or even it can be for preparing your digital content for your classroom. If the student can engage and prepare your PPTs for you, I think you should give him, and it becomes a training for him to understand how to prepare teaching content or learning content to the students. So this is very important. Now, coming to the critical issue that delayed payments and decreased revenues, these are all the issues which we are facing. Even just 2 days back, there was a case in Supreme Court I am bringing out. to a group of students had petitioned that private colleges are seeking fee and they would like to have rebate in wake of coronavirus. Even the Supreme Court said that if you are not going to pay the fees, how are the institutions going to pay the salaries for the teachers? So this is not correct. Everybody is going through the same struggle. You are going through the struggle, even the teachers are going through the struggle, and the institutions are going through the struggle. So this, I think, we have to keep in manner. Everyone is affected in the process. It's not only the one particular individual is affected in the system. So there may be delays in fee remittance from parents and students. I think this the institution should try to work out a mechanism where it does not hurt the parent or does not hurt the student, but same time education is not compromised. The delay in reimbursement from government scholarships is a major issue. I think the association of these institutions should be able to go up and talk to the governments and try to find out what is the way the government can assist them, because it is an obligation they have undertaken, and how they are going to support the institutions in the meanwhile. And the threat of salary cuts and salary delays are also looming on the educational institutions. But I would like to tell to the management who may be on the platform here that this is not a wise decision, because if your institution is doing good and if your teachers are going to doing good, any salary cut or any salary delay just because you are not got the fees, I am sure that is not the reason for cutting it. I am sure the resources which any educational organization has, they have plentiful more than what is required for a 1 month salary. So just because there is a delay, you should not take it as an excuse to demoralize the teachers who are doing work in spite of the challenge. I think only segment which was working, besides perhaps IT segment and banking segment, which was working full time or overtime, even in the lockdown period, was the education segment, because the classes which used to be 1 or 2 hours in the daytime have become prolonged class hours for 4 hours, 5 hours because of the this online education. And the impact of quality of education and consequently the students and stakeholder would be affected. If this type of measure is taken by the management, it will affect. So tomorrow, if your quality of education goes down because of demotivation, then naturally the students are not going to come to the organization where education is not going to be of good quality. And this brings back to the institution that there is a need for creating what we call as an institutional corpus for tiding over the crisis periods. Perhaps we have to give a little more thought of it. Pharmacy Council also will give a little thought to it. How do we build a corpus which can help institutions to survive? Can there be something like a World Bank which can help to survive and go for that, and every institution contribute towards that? Is something which we'll have to explore and move forward. Now, if you have a poor technology support and training, I think then you are going to misfire, and this is going to be a challenge for you in the coming years. I already spoke to you. Right teaching, right platform is required. Capacity building is required. Development of digital content is required. Internet connectivity challenges have to be thought of, and we should make mandatory that the IT infrastructure at the institutions. And lastly, acceptability of teachers working remotely considered as faculty on roll. Even in Pharmacy Council of India, we'll have to deliberate this and discuss that can a faculty working remotely be treated as a faculty as on site. So to what extent is this acceptable? So these are some things which we'll have to rethink and move forward. Of course, there is always a regulatory ambiguity, but I would like to say from our side, thanks to my colleagues in Pharmacy Council of India, we were the first to roll out very clear guidelines to students, teachers, examining authorities, how they should progress further. But as I have been telling earlier, we have to plan for the unplanned, and the institutions also should know what regulatory change that may happen, which may affect them, and try to move towards that. So these are all challenges, but we'll have to move forward and understand it. To educators, I would like to tell that there is an unpredictable path ahead. The influence of international education in India is going to come. You will find once online education is acceptable, you will find the Harvards, MITs, and others offering the same education here without creating an infrastructure. So if that is the case, how the Indian institutions are going to respond to that? Now, the future of standalone colleges, how they are going to survive, because with the new education policy, it was said that standalone colleges will get merged with the universities, and all will have to become degree awarding institutions. So, what type of strategy the standalone colleges are going to have? And even the whole policy has to be relooked by those organization managements which are having standalone colleges, how they are going to survive in these type of things, because the liability which was not there earlier will start coming in now. The institution or a organization will be held responsible if they are not able to provide the continuity of an education to an institution because of their inability to deliver. I think this is going to be a very strong decision. Even Supreme Courts may pass on to the colleges. So unless you are not sure that you are going to provide the quality education and sustain the education, I think venturing into new organization, new institutions should be something seriously thought about by the standalone colleges. Lack of innovation in education will definitely drive the future, is going to affect the future of parts of the development. It is going to definitely affect it. And higher education will become more expensive and none will be willing to pay for it. So once it becomes more and more expensive and people paying it and getting it would be less, so it will go back to the level where individuals try to get skills rather than qualifications and look for jobs. So the skill development may be the way of looking at future rather than degrees which is there. As you know, in United States, that out of the graduating students who pass out from the schools, only a very few percentage even proceed further to get a university degree. All of them acquire skills and look for jobs straight away because that is how the life is. Maybe we will be following the same path here. So the demand for higher education in the universities may come down in the process, and demand for skill-based education may become enhanced. Now, I would like to tell a story here. So usually it is, we always tell when we talk to the children that once upon a time we start. So I would like to say here, there was once upon a time, there was a teacher who really loved teaching. It was me, but this is the end. Why? Because the education is going to change, the teaching is going to change, and we have to reinvent ourselves and move forward. It is not going to be, education is not going to be normal, and it is not normal is not going to be good enough. So where the world is moving forward, good enough is dead. So performance is reaching perfection. Everywhere in the industry, everywhere you look, is reaching perfection. And only place to innovate is you. Because innovation in industry, innovation in education, innovation in all areas is over. Now, which is the thing which has not innovated is you. So you have to innovate. And what you thought was science fiction has become a science fact. Nobody imagined the circumstances and issues which we are looking at earlier. Today it has become reality. Today, a handheld mobile device has become your classroom. Did you imagine this even 10 years ago? No. But today it is a reality. Think about an industry. I'm just giving a challenge before the students who are there. That is controlled by robotic. The whole manufacturing plant is connected by robotics. And there is a continuous manufacturing process, right from the API generation, synthesis, to the final packaging and even sending to the warehouse. If everything is automated, continuous manufacturing process there. And if there is a AI-based analytical reporting for all the tests that are required to be carried out, and if the systems are integrated through internet, and these are integrated between the factories and the regulators, where are the jobs which you are going to look for in the future? So the future is going to depend on the human-based skills which are required. And what are those human-based skills? I'm going to talk to you, which is there. So don't think if I learn a manufacturing technology, I'll be working there. If I do regulatory filing, I'll do there. If I do R&D, I can do this. All this, if this is going to happen in the future for various reasons, so the whole dimension is going to change. Now, things have stopped happening gradually. Like, oh, we will do this today, next week we will plan this. No, it's a question of next week. If you do this today and today evening it's changed, so you have to look at what to do next. So you are expected to find today a cure in few weeks' time. Coronavirus started becoming an issue. In March first week, every country started demanding for a new drug or a new vaccine to come through, and they wanted to happen it today, not tomorrow also. And today, the people do not want to have a 10-year research period. By that time, people, the whole world would have collapsed. So today, the companies and the countries are promising that by end of this December, they will have drugs to go out, the vaccines to go out, so that whoever are there, they are protected and covered. And the billions of dollars of waiting time, waiting time, billions of dollars of investment is no longer there. It is a quick way of moving forward, is what is happening. And for moving quick way forward, you have to be quick enough to achieve that type of thinking. Now realize that the great transformation is here. Failure to adapt means it is failure to exist. As usual is ending. So there's no question as life as usual. The crisis is a test for our education system, this crisis. It is best to bring out the worst, it is a time to bring out the best and worst in us. It has brought out in us. Online education is becoming the new normal. Working from home is the beginning of a new virtual classroom. So today I am talking to all of you, thousands across the country, from my home. So this is not possible. Earlier I had to go to a conference, sit on the stage and go through the process of the inauguration, then deliver a lecture. And by the time you come back, 4 days are lost. Now sitting at home, in 1 hour, I am able to talk to all of you and communicate what we have to do it. So this is your new classroom, a new conference, new meeting, which you should look future. Educationists who are not future ready will be boosted, not later. By the end of this 2020, you will find those who are not able to change, you all will be out of race. This is the beginning of the end of the physical classroom. So we are not going to look at how big your classroom is. We are going to look at how strong your technology is. We will dramatically change our views on education and how it is being delivered. These views will change. And our curriculum delivery has to reboot. We have to reboot like we reboot our computers to support the digital students. Students are going to be digital students. And how do we interact to them? How do we talk to them? How do we practice with them the learning and teaching? So this is something we'll have to think. In this digital world, only thing which you can do is reinvent, communicate, collaborate, live, trust with each other, and be human. And remote is coming to stay, and this is where your future is. Now, I would like to end by telling you a story. I think you all are familiar with these pictures. You know, here Krishna and Arjuna is perplexed. He is talking about how he can wage a war with his friends. And we know that through Bhagavad Gita, it is stated that how Krishna told him, Yada Yada Hi Dharmasya, that you have to do your duty and don't worry about the outcome. And he told him. And then he waged the war. This also you know that as per the God's wish, you are carrying out the activities. But what you do not know is this part of the story. This is the story which I would like to focus. Though I have talked so much about technology, how teachers have to change, and how teachers have to move away. This is a story which I have been talking to you for past 1 hour. But is it going to see that teachers are not required in future? No. No learning can be complete without a teacher. Teacher is a must. So, and this story is a very good example of that. As you all know, in the Mahabharata war, after the war was over and the Pandavas won over the Kauravas, the system was one by one. All those warriors came to the field, and the charioteer who was driving the chariot will come down and open the gate for the person who was waging the war, and he will touch the feet of the person warrior who was waging the war and welcome him. And as a gratitude, even the warrior who was there would give him with some ornament or less and do things like that. So this happened. Yudhishthir came, and when Yudhishthir came and spoke, his charioteer got down from the horse and went and opened the door, touched the feet of Yudhishthir, and Yudhishthir in turn gave him a good gift for him to be such a good warrior. I mean, you have been such a good charioteer. Same thing happened with Bhima and other people. But when the Arjuna's chariot went into the ground where it was low, he expected that Krishna, who was riding in the chariot, would cut down and do the same thing. And in the mind, he was feeling little proud. Oh, today Krishna is going to touch my feet. So God is going to touch my feet and welcome me. These thoughts were going on in his mind. So he was feeling very proud that, so Krishna, who taught me all this, is going to touch my feet and tell me, you are a great warrior. So he was waiting for Krishna to get down from the chariot and touch his feet. But Krishna was sitting there and just smiling and not getting down from the chariot. So Arjuna waited for some time, and then finally he decided, okay, he should get down. So he got down from the chariot, reluctantly thinking that, okay, Krishna is trying to be very arrogant that he doesn't want to touch. But Krishna knew all the time what Arjuna was thinking. So he was just smiling and sat down and he was there. And once Arjuna got down, the Krishna came down and stood next to him. And immediately the chariot which was there, it got burnt and whole thing became into a ash. And everybody was astonished what happened. Then Krishna smiled and told him, maybe you have won the war, but maybe you have been defending the different arrows and other things which have come. But all the curses and powers of those arrows are still on your chariot. The moment if I had stepped down from the chariot, you would have been burnt to death in the chariot. So that is why I was sitting there and allowed you to get down so that you will not be destroyed in the process. Hearing this, Arjuna fell at the feet of Krishna and begged his pardon, that how he was wrongly thinking. And Krishna told him not to worry. I understood what is there in your mind, but it is not the arrogance that made me to do away from getting down and touching your feet. It is to protect you I did not get down. So that's what I would like to message to you, is that today your teachers are the Krishna for the students. I am trying to tell. Don't think that technology has come or I have learned everything. So what is the new thing the teacher is going to teach? But it is a teacher who is protecting you from all the time of damage which can happen. And same way I would like to tell the teachers, like this is what you may be doing in the classroom. You may be defending lots of things which you are doing. You may be doing a lot of innovations in your classroom. And you may be thinking the principal is not even appreciating, but it is the principal who is protecting you and trying to save you from the damages that may happen to you and do it. Same way I would like to tell to the principals that you may be thinking that what management is doing for me, I am doing so much and we are doing it. I would like to think again the management's role is one of a mentor to you and protect you from getting destroyed by the outside forces and continue to secure you from the life which you are having ahead. This is not only with education. I would like to tell this message that it is possible that this message is that in any workplace, if you are looking at a subordinate looks at a senior that, oh, he did not appreciate me. It's not that he did not appreciate you. He is looking at the whole thing in a different perspective as an organization, continuously protecting your welfare. So I would like to thank here one guru who taught me this story is one Dr. Vedagiri, who was my teacher in Madras Medical College when I was studying. And he continues to give me these stories which inspire me. And this is the same story which I share with you. Thank you, Dr. Vedagiri. If you are listening to this, I am very grateful to you for all the inspiration and stories you keep telling me. Thank you very much. I know I have taken more than the usual time. I spoke nearly about 1 hour, 10 or 15 minutes. So I apologize for taking too much time. But I thought, if I don't do justice talking to the students, I think I'll be failing in my duty. So thank you very much. I hope I have tried to answer many of your questions. If not, I'd welcome forward to listen to the questions. So I'm stopping the screen sharing and I pass it over to Neeraj to take further from here. Thank you very much. Thank you all. Have a good day. Be blessed. Be safe. Take care.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. So informative session and so explanatory. Self-explanatory slides are there. Each slide has question as well as answer regarding the student, regarding the faculty, and normal persons who are listening this talk. Sir, there are many questions arising from the presentation. First is, how do you take COVID situation as a challenge or opportunity with special reference to students, faculties, as well as pharma industries?
See, it is not a challenge, it is not an opportunity. It is the present. See, if you look at it as a something which has been a catalyst for you to bring about, it's okay. I mean, that's fine if you want to take that as a way of looking at it. It is a way. See, COVID is looking big to you because it is across the world. In our own country, we have gone through these challenges in different forms, different ways. It may be a war-like situation. It can be an economic recession. But it was affecting that particular country, or even in your own organization, you might have felt. Let us say there might be an institution did not get an approval for 1 year. So it's a situation there. It is something like a pandemic for your own institution, because you did not get an approval, your admission is not going to get through. How are you going to survive? How you are going to manage? Now it is because it is affecting everyone. We cannot tell that it is a challenge or is an opportunity. So it is a way of our feeling that, oh, it's a challenge and it became an opportunity for us to do it. So don't look at that. Look at what is the present. How do we try to move forward? How do we work with that? Like same way you do if an institution has got this type of, let us say, institution has got a problem with regarding to placement. Now, that's a challenge for that institution. The opportunity is that then you start working for it and improve and see the placement. So don't look at it. We are talking in this big language because it is affected all the people in the world. So we are thinking it's a big thing. But look at everyone as an individual. I think you will find it is nothing different from what you have been always facing. Only thing is your mindset has changed now, which you would have not changed earlier.
Thank you, sir. As you told that online study is very much useful for the student. So one question from the online situation. Could the online delivery become an integral part of the academic delivery?
I think yes. What even we are looking at is it may not be 100% digital. There will be a balance of say online and physical teaching. Because see, the idea is that we are spending a lot of time in our classroom teaching and workload. Okay. So now if you look at the same teaching being delivered to the students online at home or wherever they are, so how much time can you increase for them to really give them the practical skills? So we are spending more time on theory and giving less time for practicals, trying to distribute the workload and other things. So now by delivering students the type of knowledge and education which they can do at their own pace, we find more time to do good things which can help them advance their skills. So that's the thing. So maybe we'll have to evolve a balance. 25% or 30% of it would be online, 70% would be through regular didactic mode, but it has come to stay. That much you have to accept. You cannot think, okay, now it's over, COVID is over, let's go back and take our old PowerPoint notes and take a class and come back. So that will not happen. Things are changed. So it will come to stay for a while.
Sir, mostly teachers are asking about the rural area, and the institutes are situated in the outside the district, yeah, outskirt of the district. The problem is of the online platform, whether they are not using the Zoom classes, Zoom meeting, and whatever you presently here.
See, that is
How
where
they can take the online classes.
Yeah, see,
They are
they have to be, I keep telling, prepare for the unprepared. Okay. See, there are two ways. Today, you are delivering a lecture, you are going to deliver a lecture on, say, viscosity to the students. So you can do it live. Now, if you are not able to do it live because of problem is there, a recorded version of the lecture should be available to the students, where they can download and see at their pace, because they would have not missed the lecture. So this type of what you call as available of resources beyond classroom live teaching should be made ready, so that even if the student misses a class at a particular time, whenever he has the internet facility, all he has to do is to download the video on his device or on his thing, and see it at his own pace.
What we will do for the practical, sir? Some person asking how we perform the practically online.
No. Practical skills are something again. If you look even before the COVID, if you look at the medical field, now the Medical Council of India came out with a direction that all medical colleges should have a skill and simulation lab. That means before they go even to the patients in the thing, students should get trained on skill and simulation lab facilities. So these type of technological interventions, even in practicals, are coming into the play. And so this we have landed up suddenly, so we are not finding answers. But we teachers are very innovative, and we will find answers for this. I think many people will come out with wonderful platform suggestions. How do we teach the practical skills to the students? But I'm not telling this is going to be lifelong. What situation you are facing is not going to be lifelong. That practicals will be only online. This is a interim arrangement. But what advantage will happen is, even after doing the practical class in the classroom, if the student has forgotten before the class, he goes for the examination. All he will have to do is to go back to his virtual system and see how the practical was done. So he doesn't have to memorize it. He has to see it, he will remember it, and next day come and do the practical in the classroom. So this is going to happen.
Okay, sir. One more question is here. The job opportunity for the students will remain same after the COVID, or it may be changed?
See, job opportunities will be there. I'm not telling the same jobs will not be there. Okay, so that's why I told to the students, you look at one or two career options. So don't look at only one career option. I want this, like I would like to be this, I want to be only this. Okay, there's no job in manufacturing. Can I go in quality? So you have to mentally be prepared. Yes, I'm ready to take up quality and I'll work. Oh, you might be wanting to work in a hometown factory which is there. It may not be available job there. So maybe you have to go to the next place and do it. So you have to have options. Definitely jobs are going to increase in pharma sector. Definitely jobs are going to increase in the health sector. You have to adapt and move forward and move for the thing. Now, one of the examples which I would cite is like, I have been listening to various pharma industries, their different platforms. See, now the thrust is that everyone wants to get APIs in India. So that means a lot of API manufacturing may take place in India. So that means you have to have a very strong pharmaceutical chemistry. Now, students are not joining pharmaceutical chemistry in masters. So if you don't, you want a job in API plant, if you do not know chemistry, how are you going to go and work in an API plant? So you have to now think, okay, if the jobs are going to be in API, this year people should stop admitting themselves in pharmaceutics and start going and admitting in pharmaceutical chemistry. There should be a great demand for pharmaceutical chemistry. So this is something you have to imagine. So one more thing which we are looking at, even at the council level, I am looking at a new branch which would involve in both what you call as engineering component and pharmacy component together. We are working on the curriculum. Maybe even before the start of this new academic year, we may offer it to the institutions to start as a special provision, keeping in mind the new situation, this new program we would like to bring in. Similarly, we may bring in a special program for strengthening the API related learning process. Now, if student come back after 2 years and tell, sir, you created this course, there is no jobs there, what should I do? That's not the answer. The answer is that do you feel there is an opportunity? You have to learn. You have to adapt and move it. And you cannot link everything to the course you have taken and you don't have the job. I spent 2 years studying this. So 2 years down the line, that job will not exist. What do you want to do? So you have to learn, keep learning and go on further.
Sir, my next question is, what changes PCI plans to bring in various regulation patterns to different courses?
Pardon?
What changes PCI plans to bring in the various regulations pertains to different courses?
In the regulations?
Yeah, in the regulations.
See, in the regulations, there will not be a change, but in the curriculum, there will be a change. So we will be bringing a total review of the curriculum we will be bringing in, and there will be a change coming in the curriculum, and we will be bringing in more of what we call as industry-based learning as a major component in our curriculum. So students would be expected to work in an industry even while they are studying. So these type of things which are looking at it. And another area which I wanted to mention, the future is going to be is in the biotechnology area. Not many students join even M.Pharm biotechnology because they feel there are no jobs. Jobs are there, but you have to find the right place to go and see. The job may not be there in biotechnology in your hometown. It may be in some other place far away. You have to move forward and learn.
So my last question is, if India will go to the stage 4 COVID situation, then what will be the effect on the teaching profession and students' learning and future perspectives regarding the jobs? If India will go to the stage 4, now we are in the stage 2. It is not a positive question, but someone asked this type of question: how we can treat the pharma profession, especially in this situation.
See, one thing I'll tell you, see, the country may go through different phases of its challenges which we face. But mentally, we have to be prepared. Like, just because COVID situation is there, we are not stopped to clean your houses, to continue to clean your houses. You might have difficulties in getting support for cleaning the houses, but you did it. You didn't say, no, I'm going to live dirty till the COVID situation is going to be over. You are continue to do many things normally. You continue to get your vegetables at home and had your food. You continue to get the medical help you want at home and prepared. So if that is the case, education also has to be continued to provide. And we have to be prepared. In fact, I had a meeting with one of our schools in Dubai, where we are having our school. So the teachers there, when I was speaking to them, they told me that perhaps the government of Dubai the schools are shut down in Dubai. Schools means, I mean, class 1 to 12, they are shut down in Dubai. And the schools are going to open only on 1st September after all the Ramadan holidays are all over, summer vacation, everything. So that means already from March till September, there are no classes. Means there are no physical classes. So they all have adapted into online and teaching. So that means March, April, May, June, July, August, 6 months, they are teaching online. Now, if you look at the next stage, which is there, is going to be where they are telling that it may get extended up to 1st January in Dubai, the schools. So if that is the case, they said, what should we do? We have to do what we are doing, but do it better. So be prepared for that. How we can improve our teaching. So can we develop those skills? Can we try to polish our skills that are required to go for digital teaching? I think these are some things which we have to prepare.
Thank you, sir. There are more questions and too much long list, but we have the limited time. So thank you, sir. Thank you to motivate us, to teach us, to guide us regarding this pandemic situation. We need many more sessions with you, sir, because your voice and your style and your everything will affect the teaching, new teachers which are coming in this profession. And थैंक यू सो मच. मेरे पास शब्द नहीं है आपकी इस चीज को बोलने के लिए कि रियली आई एम वेरी मच ग्लैड टू शेयर द फीलिंग्स विद यू सर. थैंक यू सो मच सर.
Thank you, and equally it was my pleasure talking to all the students and my colleagues, teacher colleagues. See, I would love to talk more to you, but you know my weakness is that I do not want to repeat my talk. I do not want to repeat the same slide.
Yeah.
Every time I have to give a
inspired me, sir. I listen each and every talk of you, sir. And not me, more than pharmacy, more fraternity love to listen you, sir. That's why we are planning earlier from last year to this year. Now we can connect with the webinar only, not the live session.
Thank you very much. And I thank all my colleagues and students and teachers who are there. So please don't be worried about the COVID situation, students. Don't be worried about the situation which is there, teachers. Be safe, protect yourself. See, only when there is life, all other things is there. Putting ourselves at risk and trying to lose our life for the sake of achieving a goal which is there in front of us or far away is not worthwhile. So let us be safe. We all will overcome this. The mankind has overcome so many things. I am a very, very optimist person. I never believe that world is going to come to an end. No, the world is not going to come to an end,
Yeah.
and the world has lived for millennia, and will continue to be there, and the next generations will be there. They will be more intelligent, more wiser than us, and they will do much more than what we are doing. We only create the path, and our students are all wonderful students. They all need is little bit of imagination fired up in them, and that's what I was trying to do. So thank you very much. It was a great pleasure talking to you all. Thank you.